A DSS staff has been reportedly suspended over social media posts on Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. He's been detained by DSS after he was arrested and accused of terrorism and treasonable felony. According to reports, the DSS staff was suspended owing to actions considered as unpatriotic, as he allegedly made a post which was in favor of the IPOB leader and also showed sympathy for the Biafran agitation leader. Despite the fact that the name of the officer that was allegedly suspended was not revealed, neither was his social media post shared. From the report gathered from the news site Opinion Nigeria, I think it will be wrong to condemn the act of suspension, knowing fully well that Nnamdi Kanu is still under the custody of DSS. Since Nnamdi Kanu is being accused of terrorism and treasonable felony, I believe it will be so wrong and unpatriotic for anyone in government to speak in favor of the IPOB leader. Also, someone who works with a reputable force like DSS should be neutral when passing judgments and should also act within the confines of the law. Such a person is also expected not to bring his emotions into his work. You know, one thing I have always said is that everybody is being marginalized. Whether you have somebody who is speaking for you or you are under any umbrella or any group of people, it's inconsequential. You know it within yourself that things are not working well in this country. And that is why a lot of people do wonder that you see all these security agencies, the security that police and the army and the likes of them, that they are even the ones bearing the brunt the more. How much are they paid? They are seeing the injustice every day. But at the end of the day, well, they are so loyal to their work that they will do anything in support of the government, knowing fully well that the things that the masses are even talking about are even affecting them. They don't have anyone to speak for them. Maybe the area at which or the way they get their own succor is taking bribes and what have you, because in the real sense, if you are going with your salary, how does it take you? Where does it take you? How long can it take you? Check where they live. It is not even something worthy of even sharing to the whole world. See Nigerian security officers, see their barracks, see their whatever. It is not worth showing. So embarrassing. There is nobody in this country that is not going through one thing or the other. We are going through a lot of things. But a lot of people hide under the guise of, oh, you cannot fight the government, you can't do this, you can't do that. Because you see police that when people are talking, they see innocent protesters, innocent civilians just protesting, you see them maltreating them, beating them, and giving them all sorts of ill treatment. At the end of the day, what those people are talking about is concerning their own welfare. They give them order and they go with that order and begin to misbehave. One always wonder that why should these people don't they have conscience? These people are coming out to protest. You cannot come out to protest. That is why you see that the so-called government always do whatever they want to do or they feel like doing, and they get away with it because they know that nobody's going to say anything. Even if you say anything, they have ways of suppressing people. But it's unfortunate that we talked about change. Buhari talked about change, but unfortunately the change is a negative one. These were the things that were happened during the PDP's time, and they were there for 16 years. Nothing changed. They were just there having their own fun. But Buhari told us that it's going to bring about change. When you talk about change is supposed to be all encompassing. But the kind of change we are seeing now, not knowing that the man has a different agenda, the change is a negative one. People came out and talked about police brutality and see what they got. See what the people got. So if somebody is now coming, because of course, maybe I always wonder, oh, maybe obey the last command. Obey the last command. Obey the last command. to your own detriment. Not that you not obey the last command, but you must use wisdom when you are dealing with the civilians, because invariably what you cannot do, they are doing it for you by letting the government know that things are not going well. People are not smiling. People are not happy. So they do all of those ones. Maybe some of them will have a kind of a emotions that these guys are really fighting for us. So these guys are saying the truth. For a reasonable person with what is happening, are you going to be supporting the government unless those psychophants who are looking up to, because doing evil in this entity called Nigeria is the order of the day. Just tell people what they want to hear, even when you're telling them the opposite, so that you can get whatever you want to get. We have some people who are in that category. They are psychophants, or those who are even eating, who they chop presently. So they have to defend their own source of livelihood, because that is what they see, how they see it. That's how they see it. I could remember before the NSAS, we saw two or three, or let me say 2 or 3, what is it called, soldiers. They came out, some of them put on some kind of mask, and they were like, oh, this will happen, and they gave some kind of information, and they were even telling some of their colleagues that will be sent there to go and do all manner of nonsense, that they should remember that these guys are fighting for you. But do you know that the Nigerian army was able to fish out that particular person, and according to what we hear, they punished the person, or they locked the person, but we didn't hear anything about it again. We see how people who have conscience, that is irrespective of anything, they will still do things the right way. They still want to say it. They will still want to use wisdom, even if they are told to go and do this, to go and do that. They still have that human feeling in them that no, at the end of the day, we are all in this together. And the unfortunate thing there is that those who were ruling years back, go and check them today now. They are just like ordinary people. But the worst part of it is that they want to speak like reasonable people. But when they were in power, they were something else. They were like demigods. Buhari is the same thing. This Buhari that cried for 12 years. Cried for 12 years. He was contesting here and there. Contesting as if the Nigeria life or the Nigeria progress depends on his own breath. But see what is happening now. He does not care. We are hearing he's having dementia. But during those times, he was not having all of those nonsense. So. But now, he can't talk to anybody. He does what he likes and do whatever. You know, it's just like when I hear people like Joe Igbokwe and some people, in the area of the infrastructure, in the area of this and that, he has done this, he has done that. Don't you know how devil operates? The devil will give you one thing and will collect 10 things from your hand. And that's another thing. It will give you one thing and take 10 things from you, and you are there shouting infrastructure. Which rubbish is infrastructure? Like I've always asked, what is the face of Nigeria with all of the things? Good luck will come and say I did this. Buhari will say this and this, and will say I did this. With all of those things, even when we talked about Ibrahim Babangida, then he did a lot of infrastructure things. At the end of the day, bring everything together. Where will you categorize Nigeria? Where will you place Nigeria? Whether Nigeria is developing or is underdeveloping? Somebody will come and say, yeah, they did infrastructure, this and this and that. Devil will give you one thing, I will take 10 things from you. So what are we talking about? So dismissing this guy or whatever, or punishing him, is neither here nor there. But the truth is always there. Truth is always constant, no matter how you want to hide it. So guys, leave your comments down there below and let's have your take.